Hi everyone, welcome back to another Make It Meaningful. I'm Garden Girl Jen Gallagher. So this week I want to talk to you about being inspired. And I am inspired by lots and lots of different things, but this particular week I want to talk about something that happened to me recently. So I recently was going through some new products that I purchased, and I realized that I had several things that talk about home and family life, and it dawned on me that I had not included a story in my scrapbooks about moving. Now, we moved from Savannah to our current location about 7 years ago, and there are elements of the story that have yet to be told. So this particular week, I was inspired by a collection. Now, if you're like me, you have lots of collections from pattern paper and embellishments the manufacturers have made for certain themes. And it might be that you were inspired by a Christmas theme to do something completely different, or it might be that you, like me, are inspired by a home theme to do a home layout. And that's what happened. So I want you to go through your collections that you already have, or if you're currently shopping online at the two-piece store, I want you to think about, how does this paper or this collection inspire me to tell a story that I have yet to tell? Then allow the embellishments that go with the paper and the patterns within the paper to inspire you to tell the story in a unique and fun way. And that's what makes it meaningful. So let's get started about creating a layout about a moving experience that I had. So the collection that inspired me is the Family Forever collection from Bella Boulevard, and there are a few other home type collections that you'll see mixed and matched on this layout. But basically the concept was when I saw the elements, I realized there was more to the story that I had yet to document. So sometimes the products themselves actually function as the inspiration for my project. So whether it's talking about what we do inside our home, or photographs of our home, or the fact that we moved and we took a family photo right before we moved, this is what inspired me. So sometimes the products themselves inspired me. So I'm starting with a sheet of pattern paper from Bella Boulevard. It is from this same collection. I'm going to use this bold chevron on the back. And then I wanted to add a little bit of texture. So I've pre-cut this corrugated red cardstock. And this one is from Fancy Pants. There are several companies that make this. You can use basic adhesive, but because it's a little heavier, I do suggest that you add some glue dots to hold it down. If you're comfortable machine stitching, you can also machine stitch it into place to help it hold, because it is a little thicker than pattern paper and you are placing it on pattern paper. So I want to align the corners, place it down, and then make sure I've got the other corners all aligned, and then flatten it out. So then I want to create a fun foundation, and Jilly Bean Soup has one of their soup collections. It's called Social Soup, which makes me giggle. I think that's so fun. But while a lot of the icons and elements are things about Facebook and Instagram and things like that, I'm going to use some of these cards as elements on my page. And I just pulled out some that worked with this theme, that were more generic and less about just social media. So I wanted to incorporate those into this layout as well. And I'm going to create just kind of a background of these cards, and that helps me use some of them up. So there are several different collections that include these cards, and they're definition and word cards. So kind of like the flashcards we had when we were in kindergarten. You could also create your own by stamping or printing out some if you don't have these. And I always try in the product section to link you to other options. Think outside the box. If something I've used is no longer available, or you have something similar in your collection, by all means use it. So here's one of the main photos I'm going to use. It's of my husband closing up the U-Haul truck for the last time before we moved from Savannah to our current location. We're going to put this on the corrugated cardstock. Again, if you find that regular adhesive isn't holding your photo, a few cleverly placed glue dots will help hold it to the corrugated cardstock. We're going to slightly overlap this part of the layout. So you can see how I'm just kind of creating some elements here. From the stickers here, I did cut off this large bold scallop, and I cut it off with a paper trimmer first so I could see placement before I peeled it off and then didn't like where it went. That is a technique you've seen me use several times. Place this along the bottom, and it is 12 by 12, so it'll go clear across the layout. And then to the top, from the border strips pattern paper from this family collection, I cut out this strip that says, "Family is like music, some high notes, some low notes, but always a beautiful song." And we're going to adhere that right on top of the photo and the part of the definition cards. We'll overlap that light blue dot that you see in the sticker sheet. So creating kind of a bottom edge. Then I'm going to use from some of the cards. There's journaling cards and there's shaped cards. From the shaped cards, I'm going to use this Family Love. This will be in the center of my layout. And then this charming card was perfect for documenting the move, and it inspired me because it does have a house on it. To the bottom, to kind of decorate it a little bit, I am going to add some twine. I like to do this. You could also do cardstock strips if you prefer that. It's up to you. And I'm going to tie it into a bow. One thing I do is when I tie it, if I don't like the placement of where the bow ends up, I'll slide the twine until I get the placement exactly where I want it. So just using my fingers, I can adjust the placement. And then at that point, you can go back and add adhesive to help it hold in place if you want. Attach this to the back. I want to get the placement just right. I want to be able to read the card. And once I get it stuck down, then I can readjust the twine again. Now I can add the large blue heart, and I love that the colors are bold and happy. Again, make sure that you leave enough space that you can read the card. To the side of the card, from the same card collection that included the ephemera pack, the Family Love tab. We'll add this to the side of the journaling card. Just kind of building up some layers here. To the top of the card, I'm going to use some stickers from the smaller sticker sheet, the trinket sheet. And I cut them out so I could kind of see placement. Again, if you use stickers a lot, but you change your mind a lot, two things you can do. You can cut it directly from the backing, or you can use talcum powder, baby powder, to make them not sticky anymore. So you can change it up as you want. I think I'm going to use adhesive foam dots to stick these up. So I'll just place one on the back of each. And when you're placing foam dots, make sure you put it in a place that allows them to stick up and hold the whole sticker up. Some stickers require more than one, but for instance, by placing it right in the center there, it stands up on its own. No part of the sticker is going to lay flat. So you think about strategic placement of your adhesive. You could also string these on additional twine if you want to create a banner with string. I'm going to create the illusion of a banner and not use string. So you have options here. Let me show you how the cluster is looking. So I'm just putting together some elements that came in the collection, which makes it easy and helps me feel more inspiration to create the layout. So on the photo, there is a picture on the actual U-Haul truck of a guy and his wife, I'm assuming, but I didn't really love that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take two of the stickers from the trinket sticker sheet, and I picked two with houses on it. Again, I'm being inspired by the collection and using house elements and home elements. And I'm going to layer two of these pennant stickers on top of each other. And you can see I've cleverly covered up his face, so it's far less distracting. To the top of those stickers, I'm going to take a green button tied with twine and trim off the excess part of that twine. And then to treat these cards more as a background, I'm going to add some elements. I have some of these new embellishments from Jelly Bean Soup. They are stickers. You simply peel off the backing and you can stick them down. Some of them have an enamel shape inside, and some of them have a gem inside. There are also wooden buttons that are stickers on the back, but I actually want to tie some twine to it. So I'm going to peel off the sticker, and I'm going to place the sticker back onto the plastic because I'm going to use it in just a second. So to the love button, I'm going to add some twine, and I'll just thread it through the button and then tie it into a bow. Kind of playing with their embellishments a little bit. You can alter embellishments. You're not stuck with how they are. You could actually pop out the enamel dots inside those wooden embellishments and put something else inside, like a photo if you wanted. Or you could put a regular button inside. Okay, so here is the button tied with twine. And here is the plastic with the little sticky tab on the back. And I'm just going to place that right back onto the button. And I'll stick the button onto the layout, trim off the excess, and there you can see how I have altered embellishments to work for the page that I'm using. So I wanted to add a few more embellishments to this cluster right here because I want the eye to come here first. The first is a sticker from the sticker sheet, and you can see that you can fold these stickers in half. I simply popped one section off so that I could use the other section later if I wanted. By bringing this blue sticker here, I have blue here, and blue here, which is a great visual triangle. Also from the same die cut package, this is all the elements you can get. There's the big one. I'm going to use this yellow notebook one, and I'm going to place that right in back of the other embellishments. I'm going to tilt it just a little bit to give it some interest. And what you want to think of when you are doing a cluster is you want to think about heights and widths and layers moving up. And so I have things that are pop dotted. I have things that kind of disappear into the background. You can alter them by roughing them up. You can add layers with buttons and stickers, but you can do a lot of different things to kind of give it some dimension. You'll know when to stop when all of a sudden you put something down and you think, oh my goodness, that's just too much. And at that point, I might pull that item off. So there is the center cluster that kind of gives you the inspiration and feel for what this layout is going to be about. So to this top section, I'm going to add an additional photo, and you're going to notice that I'm going to actually cover part of the photo. And the reason why I'm okay doing with that is because this particular photo is of a U-Haul truck. And most of us have seen a moving truck before. I don't need the entire image to be out in the open. It can be partially covered, so I'm not worried about these elements covering this part of the layout. So if you have a photo that is basic, like a landscaping photo or an image that people are familiar with, it's okay to go ahead and cover the image up. Again, I played a trick here and covered this guy here. You can manipulate your photos and still give a feel for what you're trying to say in your story. Now for the journaling, I have printed it out on some craft cardstock, and I wanted to create a little bit of a pennant shape. For the journaling, I'm actually going to cover some of these definition blocks here, but I'm okay with that because, again, it's just the suggestion of a theme and I wanted it to serve as a background. So here at the bottom, I'm going to cover both of those. And then to the top, I'm going to add some enamel dots to the love heart. And then to the top of the journaling, I'm going to add some washi tape to bring some of that yellow color down to the bottom section. Place some of it behind and some of it on top. So there you have a layout that was inspired by a sticker and paper collection from Bella Boulevard. Sometimes when you're browsing an online store, you'll get a feel for a story that you haven't told based on a collection that inspires you. So be sure to look through the projects that you've already done and compare them with products you have on hand, and think about stories maybe that you could continue to tell. Thank you for joining me for today's Make It Meaningful. Be sure to subscribe to the 2Ps YouTube channel and watch for these Friday weekly videos.